Thanks for tuning in to another episode of the Colorful Kid Podcast. This episode, we welcome Varo from Chivas del Norte to catch us up on all things Chivas from a fan's perspective. Varo, how's it going in Chivas land?
It's not going well, bro. It's not going well. Hasn't been going well for a while. And we did like a preview podcast earlier this season, and I think on that one I said we would be fighting for seventh or eighth spot,
Yeah.
and we didn't even make it that far. So it's what's Dewey from Malcolm in the Middle. I expect nothing yet. I'm still disappointed.
Very accurate. And just to get some stats going here, Chivas finished in 11th place, tied with Pumas, but they lost the tiebreaker and they scored 18 goals the whole year. And they only won one out of the last 5 games. They also lost to Club America in the round of 16 for the CONCACAF Champions Cup after being up 1-0 in the first leg. And then a couple other stats. Their leading goal scorer this Clausura was Piojo with 4. Same thing for their assists, Piojo with 3. And they had 2 managers. So they keep the streak of using multiple managers in a season rough.
Yeah, rough, right? We had wait, did Gago leave this season? Or that was
No,
last season? That was
that
last season,
was
right?
yeah,
Okay.
yeah,
So we also got to see, and then we had the I don't even remember his name, the
yeah.
interim guy we had.
Who's gone now. So
Yeah, who's gone now too, so next one.
so you
There's
use
hope
2
there's hope.
managers.
There's hope though. We
Is
got we
there?
got a we got a new pope on Chivas' birthday.
So you got that going for you.
He has Peru somewhere in there, so red and white, you
He's
know.
from Chicago. He's from Chicago.
From Chicago, if that helps,
He's a
rebirth of
White Sox
Chivas.
fan. Allegedly, it's not good for me,
Not good.
but the White Sox are terrible, so I'll let him have this
Yeah.
one.
But I don't know. There's no hope, bro. It's over.
Yeah, like you mentioned, we did do a pod at the beginning of the season, kind of in I guess I guess you kind of answered this question already. Did the season turn out how you expected it? And it sounds like it kinda did. I mean, it's not like they were you said they might get 7th place. I mean, I guess 7th place is actually a lot higher.
To eighth. It is. It's higher. Seven points away.
Yeah. You guys maybe sniffed 9th with 24 points. You had 21.
I
So,
feel like these teams overachieve though. Like 1 through 8, eighth, I feel like it's usually like 24 points to get in. We would
yeah,
have to look
Pachuca.
back at like all the yeah. No, I mean I said 24. I feel like
Oh,
24
yeah.
is the goal to at least get top 8. So I feel like this season teams overachieved in terms of eighth, 7 and 8th. They're both at 28. But I mean either way, you should if you see where teams are at and how they're playing and what you need, at one point or another, you have to lock in and try to make a push. And Chivas, like you said, in their last 5 games, what did they win? One game?
Yep, they won 1 game.
Idiots.
And they
I mean,
had a
Sang,
chance in the last game of the season to do something.
yeah, they got in the play in, and
They
they
had to win,
failed
but
miserably.
nope. Nope, they did not. They drew, and even Pumas helped them out by losing. So if they would have had a win, they would have been in, but Chivas did not make it. Yeah, so I guess they kind of, I mean, they weren't too far off from what you thought. You kind of thought they would might get 7th, 8th, but you also kind of thought like, yeah, at least they'll at least get into the play-in, and they were right there. They're close.
Yeah.
Well, I know we've kind of been shitting on Chivas so far, but is there anything that was encouraging from them this season that you can point to and be like, "Yeah, we sucked, but"
So yeah, we sucked, but we did have a couple of youngsters that showed promise as far as like going into the future. I know we were talking about it a little before. But we did have Wilke, who looked like he might have a future as Chivas' striker. We had Armando Gonzalez, who even last season had been scoring goals. He had a couple of injuries this season, so he couldn't really play much. But the minutes that he does play, I've been a big fan. And the other young kid is Camberos, who for some reason at one point or another was benched by our organization or team, however you want to put it. Which makes no sense because he was one of the best under 23 players of the whole season if you look at stats, and he was benched for like
I mean, he's 18, so it's not even
yeah,
like
right. So I don't think they have an under 18 category, so they just threw him into the under 23 category, and he was still what? So he was number one in 1v1s. He was number one in fouls received, beating defenders number one, second in most possessions in rivals box or whatever. fourth in shots in passes that led to shots, fourth in forward passes, and then fifth in accurate crosses. And he only played 53% of the minutes he could have played the whole tournament. So he missed half the tournament and was still in top 4, 5 categories in really good fields that you wanna be freaking good.
Yeah, and he turned 18 in January.
Yeah, he's a freaking kid, although he does have the hairline of, like, a big cheetah, but that's okay.
That Vegeta, hey man, his power levels were definitely reaching 9,000, man. That guy, he played great, and we'll get to him later, but I don't think he'll be long for Chivas.
No, apparently not. That's what it's looked like, and then the other youngster that showed promise was, my boy Matthew, Mateo Chavez,
He balled out.
I think I talked about him right before the right when we did
Yep,
the preview, right?
yep.
Where I said I could see him making the jump, and his one thing is that he gets yellow cards, and I mentioned it before too. I don't know, we don't have that stat pulled up to see how many yellow cards he got this season, but he always gets a yellow card
He got
because
8 yellow cards this year.
hey, yeah, he is the if you could bet on the player getting a yellow card, he's the Granite Xhaka of Chivas. He'll get a yellow card guaranteed.
So he had 14 appearances this season, 12 starts, and yeah, 8 cards, but no reds or no double yellows either, so he's
There
got
you
that
go.
going
That's
for him.
progress. I think last season he had like one or two red cards. So
And
progress.
he's
He's growth.
and he's 20 years old, doesn't turn 21 till May. So, yeah, he
It
kind of
looks,
cemented
but
his spot.
it looked like he's gone.
Yeah, I mean, I think Camberos, if I had to pick one who's gonna stay past the summer, I think Camberos has a better chance of staying. I think Chavez is gonna be gone. The
They don't even
rumors
have
are hot
Chavez
that he's gonna.
on the roster page for the team. But they're missing like a bunch of players as well. So don't. I feel like Liga MX teams don't update their web pages.
Yeah, to kinda get an idea of who is actually registered for the club, I think if you have to go to Liga MX's website.
Yeah, I'm
I
on
believe they
ESPN right
do.
now.
No, ESPN is trash for Liga
Oh,
MX
is it
coverage.
bad too?
It's bad, yeah.
Let me pull up Liga MX then.
Yeah, like, that's the only good side because I think they have to be registered through this like, the way it's registered, it's usually there first, but
Yeah, that makes sense.
and Liga MX is kinda weirder than other leagues where they have one registration for everyone.
Yeah, yeah. You got like number
Yeah.
500,000 on this.
Yeah, so even if they're
But
not registered, they're still registered, you know?
even on this, Mateo Chavez is not here on the Liga MX page.
That
They
is
already
interesting.
sell him. Gamberos is not on the forwards part of the team page or the midfield page.
I don't know.
They do. Did they sell these kids already and they just haven't announced it? Did we just discover something?
Breaking news.
Breaking news. These players are all gone.
Maybe Liga MX just doesn't care about non-playoff teams right now.
They should have been there though, because they were registered on the first team. They played.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I don't think that has anything to do with it in terms of I don't think we just discovered something, but I think those 2 were definitely bright spots for for
Yeah,
Chivas going forward.
for sure.
Even if they both get sold, I feel like those 2 guys doing well kind of proves that Chivas do have a pipeline. They do at least to make like, if I'm a youngster and I'm at Chivas and I perform for their what's their 2nd division team called?
Tapatio.
I feel like they reward you. Like, a lot of these guys had a good first half of the season at Tapatio and got promoted, and I feel
Yeah, I
like
mean,
that's good.
if we actually had relegation and whatnot, there would be a problem because they have won it in the past. So it's like, what do you? I feel like you can't have them promoted. Use somebody else. I don't know. It's weird, and
But
I
what I'm
hope
saying
they
is, like,
stay.
at least Chivas is giving their youngsters a chance to play there,
But yeah, yeah,
and
for
there's
sure.
a pipeline to go up to the first team because not
Yeah, and I
everyone
think
uses it.
yeah, this year, I think this season we did have a lot of kids that made their debut and got minutes, so it's good. I mean, there's definitely they're giving these kids chances, and I like that.
One of the players who was disappointing for me, I don't know what happened. I don't know why Chivas bought him. Fidel Barajas, currently on loan at DC United.
See, I
Eh,
had no idea where you were going with that. You're like, I don't know why Chivas bought him, and I was like, all right, so there's like 5 players you can mention right now. Barajas, didn't they send him back to like San Antonio or something now?
no,
He's in San Antonio.
No, no, no. He They sent him to the U-23 squad. Chivas did,
Yeah.
and then now he's on loan at DC United up until
Oh, okay.
this summer with an option to extend the loan until 12/31. And everything I've read is that there is no buy option. So
Oh,
weird
okay.
loan. I don't. It just seems weird to me. I mean, he should get some
Yeah.
playing time. DC's not going to be good, but I kind of expected him to have the breakout that Gamberos had.
Yeah, he was playing at Salt Lake, right? He was like
Yeah,
a
he's playing.
consistent starter for them?
Yeah, and I even when
Yeah.
Chivas bought him, I thought they might let him finish out the year in MLS, but they did not. They brought him
I
up.
don't
He had like 3 appearances for them at the end of last season, and then this year, I don't know if it was a management decision or what, but he didn't get any time with the senior club and kinda hung out in limbo until the last couple days of the MLS transfer window. He signed with the DC United, but Chivas paid like $4,000,000.
well, he's only 18, so
Yeah, it just that's just
he can only
weird.
get better. He can only get better. And they did
Yeah,
pay a lot of money for him, which is
yeah.
yes.
Which that's one of those guys where I thought, like, we're talking about Camberos, I thought he was gonna have the breakout that Camberos had, but yeah, Camberos is balling, man. I mean, you know me, I'd love if he went to Europe right now, as opposed to staying in Liga MX, but I think he'd be okay staying another 6 months or anything like that, another year in Liga MX if he's gonna play, but like you were saying, he got
It's
benched because he didn't sign an
yeah.
extension, so I
Yeah,
don't
so
know.
the rumor was that he was starting, I think, like, the first 4 or 5 games of the season, looked really good. And out of nowhere, he just started getting benched, and, people that were looking into it is that apparently he didn't wanna re-sign he didn't wanna sign an extension with Chivas, and, because of that, he got punished and he had to ride the bench, which is classic Liga MX and
Oh,
classic
yeah.
Chivas because Chivas has done it in the past where players that don't wanna re-sign or sign extensions, they just bench him, and then it just ends in drama. I remember, what was his name? The center back? He
Salcedo?
gave no, he gave Pulido maybe it was Salcedo too, but he gave Pulido the pass for the goal against Tigres in the final. What was that guy's name? He's a national team center back too. I know people listening to
Alanis?
this are yelling, "No." Was it Alanis?
Maybe.
Maybe. Let me see. Yeah, yeah, Osvaldo Alanis. Yeah, he had the same thing where he didn't wanna resign, and they sent him to, like, the Tapatio or whatever version of that was at that time. So it happens a lot where with Chivas and Liga MX teams that if you're not gonna resign, they're gonna bench you and try to, like, sabotage your career, which is messed up.
One thing I've seen a lot of lately is players will re-sign with their clubs, but they'll do the dual release clause. There'll be a release clause for Europe and a release clause for Mexican clubs, and the European release clause is always lesser. So I'll be curious if he does sign an extension, Camberos, if it's one of those dual release clause type of deals where, hey, if Tigres want me, it's $10,000,000, but if PSV want me, it's three. Something like that.
Yeah, that would make sense. But then Tigres would come in and pay the freaking 10,000,000 and the Chivas was gonna take it because it's more money.
Yeah, but at that point, you can at least Chivas can say, "Hey, we gave you a reasonable release clause for Europe, and no one came in."
Yeah.
It's better than nothing. I mean, I mean, you're right. Chivas might come in and say, "Hey, here's 10 mil," but at least at that point, you can say, "All right, well, at least they tried." Better than before, where it was not even like an option, basically.
It's basically what happened with Chiquete recently, where Cruz Azul just paid, like 11,000,000 or something. At the end, they didn't end up paying that because we got Romo out of it and I guess money on top of that, but initially, I think the release clause was rumored to be like 9,000,000 or 11,000,000.
Yeah, I heard. Yeah, 10 or 11 million was that's what
Yeah.
I heard. But yeah, I read in an interview. I think he said Genoa and Torino were after him, and Anderlecht for Chiquete.
Yeah, and nothing.
No, nope.
Last I saw, he wasn't even starting for Cruz Azul, but I don't know, maybe he got better throughout the season or he got more minutes, but I saw he didn't really start much, which sucks because he was one of the better center backs in Mexican talent pool, I guess.
Yeah, and you're right. He kind of didn't. I mean, I don't think at the beginning. I think he struggled a little bit, but he did end up playing. He did end up starting 12 games out of their 18 games. So
Okay.
I think at the beginning there was something where yeah, I don't know what's going on, but
Just
he
had to get used to it.
yeah, and yeah, he's playing and he's doing well. But I think the European window for him is done. He has now become too expensive.
But yeah, for sure. It's over.
Yeah.
That's not happening.
It's gonna be he'll be one of those guys when he's like 26, he'll go to Europe when he's on a free or something. I mean, Cruz was not gonna let him go out for less than what they paid, and no one's gonna pay 11, $12 million for him. I'm sorry.
He would have had to like had an incredible World Cup performance, and he might not even make the roster anymore.
Yeah. Well, kind of going along with that mindset of transfers, I know the answer to this is probably everything, but what positions did Chivas need to improve this summer? All right,
So we do
let's
this.
start at goalie. Let's start at goalie. You guys are set at goalie. No?
I guess Dala just I don't know. Sometimes it looks like he's catching chickens out there on like ground crosses and whatnot. He leaves a lot to be desired. Playing with his feet, I think, can definitely improve. I guess he's growing pains with a young keeper, but at this point, how old is Dala around here?
He
Probably
just
like
turned he turned
23 or something.
turned 25.
5. Okay. Yeah. So I guess he's about to enter the prime of his goalkeeper career.
And not even yet, but
Like 28 ish, 29.
yeah. I
But
mean, I'm not
yeah, I
saying he's
guess.
amazing, but he's
No,
solid.
yeah, yeah. He's
Solid.
solid.
Solid mid-Amex skipper.
He's a national team goalkeeper at this point.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I think they have to keep him. We're set there, set
I
in
mean,
air
he's
quotes.
probably gonna be Mexico's number 2, number 3 at the
Yeah,
World Cup.
yeah, for sure.
Sorry, so you got that taken care of.
Dude, we need defenders. Too bad there's none in Mexico. Right back, I mean, was it Jose Castillo? He was also kind of like a good addition to the team. He did okay. Mm. We plugged him in like at left back and center back a couple of times through the season, and he held his own. Sepulveda, I don't know what. He's such a volatile player. One week he's great, and the next it looks like he's never kicked a soccer ball in his life and has
Yeah, dude.
never played football. But it's just frustrating to watch. Ideally, you bring in a solid center back to pair up with Sepulveda. I think Chiquete leaving exposed him more than when Chiquete was there. So you need someone to kind of guide him or cover up his mistakes because he had a horrendous season. And at left back, I think we're losing Mateo, so we're gonna need somebody to come in and play left back.
Is Mosto's time at, Chivas done?
I think his time is up because even when he was healthy, I think we had Raul Martinez starting at right back.
Mosto had 6
Uh,
starts this season.
yeah, not great. And then he looked out of shape at one point in the season too. He put on a lot of weight after
Body
an
shaming?
injury.
Body shaming on the TCK pod? Damn,
Brutal, brutal.
bro. Midfield, you guys seem pretty solid at midfield.
Yeah, I guess so. We have Romo actually had a good season for us. He brought a lot of stability and consistency to the pitch for Chivas. And then Guti also had a low key good season for us. And it's just the third midfielder. I don't we can't figure it out. We try to plug in Pocho Guzman, but him and Guti don't seem to work on the pitch at the same time. Fernando Beltran's time at Chivas might be up. At one point or another, I thought he was gonna be a Chivas lifer, but it's looking more and more like his time is coming to an end.
Turns 28 in May. Or
Yeah.
sorry, literally today's his birthday. He turned 20.
Well, happy birthday! You might be leaving Chivas. Yeah, I
You
think
get you guys could
it's
get something for him, I think. I feel like you guys can
we
easily get
yeah.
something for him.
I think we can get something. I don't know from where now though, because I think at one point he was rumored to go to Tigres because Banovic really liked him, and he's no longer at Tigres anymore, so that's
Just
not gonna happen.
wait like 90 days, Panovich will get another job.
He does have an isn't he in Spain now?
Dude, I still don't know I can't imagine the career he's had. He was a Chicago Fire head coach
Yeah,
years ago.
so I found out that he was no longer the Tigres coach because on the CDN Instagram account I followed him and I clicked his story and it was him like hyping up a team with like a Spanish logo and I was like I was like where the hell is he? And then I click his page and he's like bienvenido to whatever club he's at now. I was like what?
He's Real Oviedo's new head coach.
Yeah.
Oh, that's
And that
I mean,
happened, like, immediately after getting released from theater, like, I was like, "When did
yeah.
this happen?" Like, mid-season, and then right away, next day he had a job again, I was like, "It must be nice," like that turnover. I wish we all had that turnover. We got laid off. He's like, oh, someone will hire me right away.
Well, you know who owns the Real Oviedo, right? Grupo Pachuca.
That makes sense then.
They own 51% of the team.
Oh, okay. I did not know that.
So, man, bring some Mexicans with you, bro.
Yeah. All right. Fernando Beltran, congrats. You're going to Europe.
I mean, it makes sense. I could see him doing, it's getting a low seven-figure fee for him,
Yeah,
couple
maybe.
million. Yeah, Chivas will take it.
At this point, I think they have no choice. I think he needs a change of scenery because it's
Been
not
around here
working
for a
out at
minute.
Chivas. Yeah, at one point the crowd turned on him. Once that happens, we've seen how that turns out for Chivas players. They rarely come back from the crowd turning on you. Yeah, you gotta be really good. I can't even name like a player that got booed by the fans and made a comeback to redeem themselves. Like we made
Mhm.
Uriel doing that cry at one point.
Yeah, yeah, you guys are savages, bro.
Passionate. Called passion.
Confession.
Too much passion.
I'm trying to see. I can't find a source for Brizuela, but he's got to be gone.
Oh yeah,
You
he
guys
needs to
try to get rid of
retire.
him.
Just retire.
You guys try to get rid of him in
Yeah, we
January.
tried to send him to Puebla, and he said no. Or Puebla was like, "Look, we're dumb, but not that dumb. Like, or we're desperate, but not that desperate." And,
It's probably the wages.
even he, I think, got to start a right back this season. That sounds like it's over from also too. Conejito Brizuela, who's probably like 34, 35. If he's starting over you at your natural position, you might be in trouble.
Yeah,
Let's see, how old is Cone Brizuela?
30. He's 34.
34.
He turns 35 in August, so basically he's
Yep.
35.
Bro, he runs, like, in slow motion, like, how is he starting over you?
That man went from
Crazy.
Conejito to Conejo. That's how you know you've been in League of Extra Life when your nickname changes to the older version of your nickname.
They just gotta take his nickname away, just Brizuela, that's it. No more Conejito, that's it, you're done, bro.
I know someone was probably listening to this saying Chicharito to Chicharo, like, but that's his dad's nickname, so he can't be,
Bruh,
can't be taking it.
Chichari yeah, he just needs to be Javier Hernandez now, because that's over, man.
Well, let's move on to forwards.
Forwards, that's what we need everything. No, we got the 2 youngsters, we got Armando Gonzalez and we got Devin Wilke. Like I was saying, I like what we see from them on the pitch. Armando Gonzalez has a Hormiga presses really well. I feel like he never gets tired. Try leaves it all on the pitch every time he's there. So I'll take that any day of the week. And then Wilke has a very good link up play, which if we had real wingers or attack minded midfielders or a cam, like a real cam that we could put behind them, it'd be great because he has great link up play. It's just I think at some points his teammates aren't fast enough to recognize what he's doing, and that's where the plays fall apart. But I mean, we can get him someone to link up with him and pass the ball around. I think he could have a really like a breakout season at one point or another. And then Piojo, we have Piojo, who's our best player, and this was an off season for him. We were talking about it earlier. He had a great performance at the Nations League Cup for Mexico, but for Chivas, he just never found his form the whole season. He was kind of like a shell of who he was last season. So if he can find his form again, that would be nice. I'd appreciate that.
Tom Harrison had a really good article back in January. He was talking about who should start for Chivas,
Yeah, I
and
did read that.
he basically said that it probably should have been Odmiga Gonzalez.
Yeah, he's really good, but he got hurt though this season. I think he had like a hamstring issue or a leg injury, something. So that's why his time was limited. And then I don't know for some reason the pecking order for strikers was Chicharito, Pulido, Wilke, and then Hormiga.
Yeah, Wilkie had 9 goals last in the for Tapatio.
Yeah, he's a good player. He knows how to score goals, but I didn't understand the pecking order of strikers for this season, especially at one point or another in the season, I would tweet out like if Chicharito's starting or he subs in, I feel like when he subs in, it's not like, oh, we're about to score. It's like fuck. Damn, like Chicharito's going in. This is not ideal. Like that's not what you want. And that sucks because he's such a like Mexican soccer legend. I don't think I'd put him as a Chivas legend just because he didn't really accomplish most of his success in the Chivas jersey.
That's
But
crazy because you
Mexican
guys claim
soccer legend,
everyone. Chivas claim everyone, bro.
nah, Mexican soccer legend for sure. He just didn't do it enough with the Chivas jersey on, and now that he came back, it kind of just tainted whatever legacy he did have at Chivas.
I'm pretty sure when he signed, you said those exact same words. Either you're like, he's either gonna come
Yeah.
back and lead the club back, or he's just gonna do harm to his legacy. And you're right.
And it was one or the other. It was a catch-22, and we it didn't go well. It hasn't gone well. I'd probably rank it as one of the worst Chivas signings in their history, and we have a lot of bad ones. But that will forever be the worst one, though.
Did you
It's not as
get
bad as Oribe.
what did you guys pay for Peralta? Because you guys paid a transfer fee, no? Or am I
I don't
wrong?
think we I don't think we paid anything. No, I think it was like or
America was
maybe
just
like a
happy to
sign
have him what happened is to let him get off the books.
maybe, or maybe we did pay. I don't remember, but also it was rumored that Puma was actually the one paying his contract. 'Cause he was a Puma was a sponsor with Chivas,
Yep,
and he was a
yep.
signed athlete for Puma, so
He was like
it
their
was
big
rumored that yeah,
Mexican athlete for a
yeah,
few
he was
years
their
too.
guy, and it was rumored that they were the ones backing his contract and paying it, so it wasn't coming out of Chivas' pocket, but still, he didn't do anything. He missed, like, 2 open netters at one point, so he's definitely the worst, and then we also did sign Borghetti when he was, like, super washed, so that's a horrible signing. And Ignis was super washed when we signed him, so that's a horrible signing. We have, top 10 horrible signings of all Liga MX time. We probably have, like, 2 or 3 of them.
Only 2 or 3?
Yeah, and there's some horrible signings throughout Liga MX.
That's true, that's true. There's some bad ones sprinkled throughout. Speaking of bad signings, I think we kinda touched on this a little bit throughout. Who needs to leave? And not just players that are just contracts are up, like, I think, like, Brissett like, Conejito's contract is up, but, like, who has a long-term deal on Chivas that you're like, "Nah, they need to be gone?"
We just signed Pulido, and I'm like, maybe he should.
I heard it's a 3-year contract or maybe 2.5 years.
That is horrible. So he's not even the starter anymore. He shouldn't be starting. Although, if he can stay healthy, I could see him starting. But I would just like to go all in on Huizca or go all in on Normiga. I think Chicharito, if we can con someone into paying us for him, maybe San Diego. I keep seeing those rumors.
That's not gonna happen, dude. I don't know what to tell you. Yeah, they have a really good team, so they don't need to sell tickets.
Yeah, we have Omar Gobert. If we could get, I don't know how long he's with us or how much we're paying him, but if we can get him off the books, that'd be great. Defenders, probably
Also,
Moso's time to go. If we could sell Luis Olivas, that'd be good. Although he might get playing time because he's a left-footed center back, so we need more of those. I don't know. It's a lot of work, and it's not like you could just press a reset on the team, but like get rid of everyone you need to get rid of. Because statistically and, like, money-wise, it doesn't make sense for a team to do it. It's impossible.
this might surprise you, but I don't think this team is as bad as I thought it was 2 hours ago.
No, on paper, it's not a
Like
bad team, but then
like,
you
it
watch them play, and they
no,
look
I'm
like they've
saying, like,
never
they
played.
have it's like no, I'm just saying, like, say you get a proven goal scorer, and I know that's what they're hoping Polito would do for the next 18 months at least. I mean, their defense only gave up 21 goals in 18 games. So it's not like they're getting blown out or anything like that, you know what I mean? It's not like they're like, Cholo's bad, where Cholo's is giving up 35 goals, 2 goals a game, you know? But just they have no attack, man. It's like the midfield looks decent, but there's just no goal scorer that's like, "He's our number 9. He can do stuff." It's like they're rotating in 4 guys, and one's at the very end of his career. 2 guys are in their first 6 months of Liga MX action, and then the other guy is Alan Pulido.
Yeah, it's
I don't know, man. It's like they need a dependable striker.
right, but that's the problem with Mexico in general. You don't have a consistent striker or the lack of strikers.
Lack of Mexican strikers.
Yeah. The lack
Yeah.
of Mexican strikers. You're not gonna go out there and sign Santi Jimenez to Chivas, and I think there's no way in hell that they go out there and try to buy Raul Jimenez, so that's not
Raul
gonna
ain't
happen.
coming to Chivas, dude. Raul is not coming to Chivas.
You never know. But I just don't ever see it happening. Like, they could throw all the money in the world, and I don't think he'd do it. And I don't think Chivas should do it just out of self-respect, like, don't
You're
do
right.
it.
That 11th place, love that self-respect. But yeah, I'm just looking at the roster and I'm like, if you give him a goal scorer who can get 20 goals a year, spread across over 2 seasons, so give him 10 goals a season, I think their record would be so much better. I mean, you got Piojo balled out this year, and I'm not a Piojo fan, and you know this, but
Yeah.
it's like he like push up and it's like, what are my options? Try to get it to
Yeah.
Chicharito? I mean, I love Chicharito, but like you said, it's in the I would not be surprised if that man retired.
So, they only lost 2 games by more than a 1 goal difference. They lost to San Luis 3-1, and they lost to Rayados 3-1. Every other game, they lost by 1.
So it's like they're it's not like
They give up probably. I don't have, like, the math in front of me, but they give up probably, like, 2 point maybe, like, 2 goals, average 2 goals a game.
they gave up 18 or 21 goals in 17 games, league
So even
games.
less. Yeah,
Yeah.
even less.
The main problem is they only scored 18
Score.
goals.
Yeah, they don't score.
I mean, I'm not a Chivas fan, but get a nice proven striker, you guys will easily be back into the mix.
We just need, like, creators, and I feel like our creators, they don't let them play. Like, Yael Padilla too. He's a really good young player who's shown promise. Even on the youth Mexican national teams, he balls out, and then he just rides the bench for the majority of the season. And when he does play, he looks really good. But they don't give him the minutes. Cade Cowell was looking promising, and then I don't know what the hell happened to him in the offseason. He just didn't get many minutes, and when he was out there, the crosses that he would send in would end up in the 300s or would end up on the other sideline. Like, there was not really accurate crossing going on, and I don't know if he's rumored to want to leave Chivas, go back to MLS, so that sucks. But there's no consistency. Every week, you don't know what Chivas team you're getting.
Yeah, that's pretty much it, just the lack of consistency everywhere when it comes down to it. Yeah, I think I don't know how strong it is, but I heard the rumor was that Kyle wants to leave, but who knows?
I mean, probably.
I don't know. I thought he was gonna. I mean, he like, just wasn't playing. That's the thing that surprised me.
Yeah.
It's one thing to not have a great season. It's another thing to like, dude isn't getting minutes. And again, he was another signing that was, I think, $5 million they paid for him, $4 to $5 million.
They paid a pretty hefty fee for an unproven MLS player. Not like he was balling out in MLS either. He just has like he has raw talent that needs to be polished, but it needs a lot of polishing. The talent is there. It's not like technical yet. It's not polished talent.
Yeah, I'm still. I think he'll do something. Whether it's going to be at Chivas, I'm not sure. But I mean, if you guys sell Gamberos, it's like the playmaking is going to have to come from somewhere.
Yeah. I mean, you could probably go back into the Tapatio well and pull up pull the younger kids up again and see if one of them pans out.
Or just go for the next season, just go all young. I mean, there's no relegation. Just play Wilkie. Play him 15 starts a season. See what
That's what they
happens.
should have done, but
Yeah.
they don't want to.
Yeah. Yeah. Before we go to some listener questions, anything else you want to touch on Chivas wise? Is there hope?
There's always hope.
Is Vergara going to do
Hope
something? Is he going to,
was the last thing that dies, bro. La
as a
esperanza
Cubs fan, I know
es
that.
la última cosa que muere.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. There was also that whole thing where fuck, I forgot the guy's name, but he wanted to buy Chivas. He like put a bid out and he made it public and media picked up on it. I don't know who the guy is, but he tried to buy Chivas. He runs like an investment company here in the States. Let's see, Google it. Chivas buyer rumor. Subscribe. What? I don't even know your website. Why would I subscribe?
Well, while you're looking that up, there was, I don't know if you saw it yesterday, there's a rumored price tag for Santos Laguna, and the
I did
rumored
see
price
that.
tag is 375 million. Of course, this includes the installations, the stadium, and all that. And Santos they do have top training ground, and the stadium's pretty nice. But if on the open market, if Vergara woke up tomorrow and said, "Hey, I'm selling Chivas. What number could you see the club getting that you would not be shocked?
That's the thing. So if Santos is valued at 350 mil, who we they're one of the what the smaller Liga MX. Where would you put them in terms of like Liga MX hierarchy?
Now?
Mid, like 10 to
Yeah,
12,
yeah.
right?
Now, I mean,
And
they
then
had that golden period before they sold
yeah,
Peralta
the
where they were yeah,
golden era, yeah, right, when they had, Borghetti and then Wosso, Peralta.
yeah,
They
they
were
were good.
good for a
Yeah.
couple years. They had a good run, but now I think in terms of Liga MX hierarchy and historically what they've done, probably, like, somewhere in the 10 to 12 rank. I think even how horrible Chivas has been over the last 30, 40 years, hierarchy-wise and, like, fame, top 3, top 4 club, easily.
Oh, yeah.
Like, there's no argument about it. Where exactly they rank, it depends on who you ask. But if that's the valuation we're going for a Santos, I think that would put Chivas at like 800 million minimum, like 800 million to what, a billion? You could ask
You
for a
know
billion for
what's
Chivas.
funny about that number you just said? In an interview in 2014, Jorge Vergara said back then Chivas is worth 800,000,000.
Yeah, so it's only gone up. If you're a Maori, you're not gonna come out and sell it for 800 million. You gotta sell it for more now. So the guy that made a bid for Chivas, his name is Simon Levy. He has like some kind of investment firm or something here in the States. He's actually from I forgot where I didn't really pay much attention because I thought it was fake. And then they started picking up on it and Amari basically told him fuck off and he pulled his offer. I'm trying to see how much he offered for Chivas because he had like a whole plan. He said he had like how to develop the academy, digital and commercial marketing,
Yeah. I see
public
the bid,
relations for all the players.
but I don't see the number. I don't see a number.
I don't think he put a number. So I don't. Yeah, I'm reading the whole letter that he put on social media, and it's just like a letter to Amadi. And he's like, I want to bring the club back to their old glory, and he wants to modernize the way they sign players, deal with transfer market. Yeah, so it was like I guess testing the waters, and Amadi probably just told him to kick rocks. So he pulled his offer or supposed offer.
Everything is
But
supposed until there's money on the table.
yeah, it had to be like they have to be valued at like 800 to $1 billion, like 800 million to $1 billion.
Because Chivas own their stadium, right?
Yeah, I believe so.
If they own the stadium plus their training grounds, plus the fact that they're probably top 10 biggest soccer franchise in this hemisphere in the Americas.
Yeah, I'm trying to find the Forbes. You know how they always put out a
Oh,
list?
yeah. They do one for MLS. I got it in front of me. Yeah. Quote unquote
There's no
cheapest the cheapest MLS club is the Colorado Rapids, owned by your boy, the Cranky family,
the
who also
Cronkies.
they also own Arsenal, and they're valued at $415,000,000.
Oh yeah, I'm looking at that list. But they usually do one for like all the world teams.
Of the top 50?
Yeah,
Yeah, they
I
did
feel
it
like
top 50.
Chivas and America make it most of the time. But the
Yeah,
list I have only goes to 30. I can't pull up the 50 list.
I don't know if it was,
Or was it not 50 this year or last year?
actually, it's CNBC did one, and this one just came out, like, this week.
So I found one on Sportico, whatever Sportico is. They have Chivas at 730 million back in 2020. Oh, this year, 2025. They have Chivas valued at 730 million. They have America valued at 770 million, and they're the only two Liga MX teams on the list out of 50.
That checks out. I mean, the Forbes list, the
Yeah. And then you have LAFC, the most valuable MLS club at 1.28 billion, followed by Inter Miami 1.19 billion.
the crazy thing about Miami's value is that they haven't even opened their stadium.
Yeah,
It opens
that's
next year.
nuts. Yeah, they're playing out of what, like Fort Lauderdale,
Yeah,
some shit.
it's a
Yeah, right.
temporary stadium.
That's crazy.
So let's
Yeah,
say
so
Chivas are
Chivas
worth
has to be 800, minimum 800 million. That it had to be like a bid offer to probably even get attention or garner attention from a Maori.
just to put it in perspective, the Columbus Crew are allegedly worth $735 million.
Dude, we're way more famous than Columbus Crew.
Where
But
is
then I guess you value it to like facilities and everything that they own. It's
I
weird.
mean,
It's weird to like value
yeah,
a
it's a
whole
because
franchise. It's
because
hard.
some people will get all upset and say, "Oh, this club should be more valuable," and then you're like, just ask a simple question: Do they own their stadium? No. Well, then
Yeah,
that's why. Like people get all mad, and it's just like it's not the value of your club; it's like their assets too. And it's like if they own a stadium, then boom, that helps so much. If they don't, then they're literally just renting. They rent a stadium 20 times a year.
yeah. Chivas owns it. That's why they have all those events and all that stuff.
That makes sense. They have concerts and all that stuff, and I don't get me started in the concerts that fuck up the field, but
They ruin the pitch
yeah,
right when Chivas needs it the most. Oh yeah, let's have a weekend concert for 3 days in a row.
right before Clasico. Yeah, that's fucking who was it, like, was it Shakira that fucked it up last time or something?
I don't know. Everybody's messed up the field at this point. Whoever's popping that year, that season, they ruined the field.
Yeah, I'll give you 800, 900 million. Yeah,
Yeah, that's I think that's a fair guess to what it would take to buy.
yeah. Kind of similar question. Someone asked me in the TCK Discord, should fans protest at Chivas? And if they do, would it change anything?
That's always a hard question to answer just because no one's gonna follow through on it. You can set up protests and show up to the stadium. I know last season they're like, "Oh, show up to the stadium 20 minutes later," something like that, to show them our power. It doesn't do anything because fans just show up. And at this point, you have so many people that come in from the United States to go see them. A lot of the season ticket holders are actually from the United States, and they just either sell their ticket or go to the games that they can get down there for. So protest is not going to work at this point, in my opinion. You can boycott whatever you want to boycott, merch, boycott games, don't watch the games, but there's never going to be a way to organize a full boycott that would actually hit their pockets at one point or another.
Any amount of bad PR? I guess no, because if
We PR.
tell me this, if there was promotion or relegation, do you think that would change things?
Yeah, absolutely. Because the way Mexico does it, it's like the average of what, 3 seasons that builds your relegation coefficient.
Yeah,
So yeah, it would force you to have to be consistent, at least consistently mid, and you
yeah.
don't even do that at this point. So it would force every other club would also be forced to try to be at least a mid-table club every season. And not for nothing, that one season that Chivas almost got relegated, that was like one of the
Woo!
funnest seasons to watch. That Puebla Chivas game still lives in my heart, and like that adrenaline rush I got that out of that game from that Cubo Torres goal. Never forget it. That was an insane game.
MLS, Chivas USA legend.
Houston Dynamo legend.
A happier question. Who's, on your Mount Rushmore of Chivas players?
Damn, Mount Rushmore of Chivas players. What is Mount Rushmore for?
Yeah,
Yeah, right, four. So right away off the bat, Ramosito Morales,
I was gonna
because
say,
favorite
obviously.
Chivas player of all time.
Yeah.
Um, Obviously Ramoncito Morales. I think you gotta put Omar Bravo there.
Oof. Sporting Kansas City legend.
Second leading goal scorer in the Chivas franchise history. I have to put Licha in there now at this point. It's just what she signifies for the Chivas feminine side, and the fact that she is now the official leading goal scorer in franchise history. And fourth, this is my fourth.
No goalies?
So that's what I'm debating. I'm debating right now. It's either
A
Osvaldo
defender?
or Buffo. Just to me, because those are the ones that I grew up watching. Honorable mentions probably have to go out to like Salcido. Who else?
Almeida?
Like honorable mentions, uh, for what he did. But I'd probably put Buffo in there. It'd be Omar Bravo, Ramoncito, Icha, and then I'll put in Buffo.
No trophies?
Osvaldo misses that trophies, bro. That's Rigo. That would be Rigo's Mount Rushmore. Trophies 4 times.
Shout out to Rigo, he's out here running marathons and shit.
Dude, he ran the London Marathon.
I know. He posted on IG a photo of him at a Chelsea game, and I was like, "Shit." Last questions here. I don't think you really care, but who's winning the last Club World Cup spot? Club America or LAFC?
LAFC wins. Giroud scores a hattie. I think he's still there, right? Giroud's still there?
Yeah, he finally scored for the first time in, like, 10 months.
Jesus Christ. He had another, Arsenal Leicester season run.
Yeah, just I think he
Yes.
signed in August, and I think he literally just scored his first goal, like, 2 weeks ago.
That's crazy. That's why Arsenal didn't win the league that year, because Giroud decided to go on a freaking 3-month drought or something.
I mean, they should have signed Benzema, weren't they rumored to sign Benzema for 8 years, 8 summers?
Yeah, I think last season they were rumors to sign him. Just like Chivas is always rumored to sign Carlos Vela every season.
Anytime anyone brings that up, I'm like, "Do you really think Carlos Vela would want to play in Guadalajara or in Liga MX, period?" It's just
He
like,
doesn't wanna go back to Mexico at all, like, he's
no,
done.
that man does not wanna he wants to just chill in LA. I don't blame him. Catch a
Is he
couple.
still on LAFC?
No,
No, right?
it's
He's done, right?
so
Didn't he,
he
like,
took
unretire?
he never retired last season, but the club didn't make him an offer he wanted, but
Yeah.
but he didn't sign anywhere else. He almost signed with Cruz Azul allegedly, and then they didn't clear out his locker. They brought this man back in, like, August last year. He played, like, 2 games last year, including the playoffs or whatever, and then that was it. And now he's unsigned. I mean, nothing.
Limbo?
I don't know.
Damn, should've signed
Very
for
weird.
Arsenal.
I mean, he should've.
We coulda used a striker.
Arsenal and a striker, name a better combination of people right there. Well, we'll end the pod on that note.
Yeah, football season's over for me. I don't care about football until next season. Till,
Cool.
when does Liga MX kick off? June
Yeah,
or July? Is it July? I think
it's
July.
I think it's July 'cause, yeah. It's gonna be a really they got the Gold Cup, we got the Club World Cup, and I'm pretty sure Liga MX is going on at the same time at the beginning of their season as those 2 tournaments are.
Oh, well, there you go. So June or July for Liga MX, and then Premier League starts back up in,
August.
like, August, right? Late August. Yeah. That's a nice little break there.
Ready to get hurt again.
Um,
Michael Scott
can't
me.
wait to see can't wait to see who we don't sign again. Striker? Nah. Why did we not win anything this year? Because we didn't have a striker? We don't need one.
Nah,
We'll
we're
figure it
good.
out. We'll figure it out.
They'll be like, "Ah, what's Rodolfo Pizarro doing right now? What's he doing?"
Damn. Did you see that clip? So that last game against Mazatlan, they called like a PK against Chivas last minute, and it
Uh-huh.
was Pizarro that was like snitching to the ref on the sideline. I was like, it's like, Judas, is that you?
Hey, you guys could have signed him. You guys made out like bandits, man, when you sold him.
We did him dirty because he was one of the players that stood up for the locker room and wanted players to get paid out their bonuses. Like they promised them bonuses and then they never paid them. And Pizarro, Pulido, I think, and a couple of other players, the ones that protested and like stood up for everybody, they got sold the next season.
Chivas being Chivas.
Liga
And
MX
then
being Liga MX.
and then and then Inter Miami said, "Bro, we good. We have Messi at home. We don't need you." They took away his number 10 and said, "Have fun in
That's
Greece."
crazy. Played? Did he play with Messi at all? He did,
I
right?
don't I don't think so.
No, I thought he did. That's funny.
Now I'm invested.
I thought he was teammates with him. 'Cause they're like he went from Rayados or whatever to Miami, and now he's teammates with Messi, like, I thought they were on the roster together at one point or another
I could have sworn they had to let Pizarro go
to sign
to
Messi.
yeah, because he was a DP,
That's that's fun.
and they also got Jordi Alba and Busquets.
Oh, yeah. I don't know what rules they're abiding by for Miami, but they have, like, too many don't they have too many DPs or whatever?
No. So they have, Busquets, Messi, and I think Alba. No,
And what
Suarez is
about
not
so
Suarez
Suarez don't count?
no.
I don't know what a DP is, but I figured it was just, like, a high profile player that gets paid a lot.
Yes, after a certain number. If he's below a certain number, then he's fine. But also, like, players be taking less money to be in Miami and play with Messi.
Because there's a salary cap, right, in MLS?
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. It's fucking
Yeah. Let's see, Messi's first game was July 22nd against Cruz Azul, and I believe Pizarro's last game was 13 days before.
that close.
Yes. So, yeah.
Well, I'm glad. I'm glad. He
So,
didn't have to embarrass himself.
hey, he got paid. They paid him out,
Yeah,
and then he left to
got
Greece
paid.
for 12 months or whatever.
He played Champions League adjacent football, right? He was in like that qualifier round or
Yep,
whatever.
yep. He played Europa
So
League.
technically played Champions League football,
Yep,
Europa
technically.
League football,
37 minutes of Europa League football, 16 minutes of Champions League
living
football.
living the dream.
Yep, in Greece. What more can he want?
Greece is nice. So I've heard, and I've seen pictures.
That's why Almeida won't leave. He's like, "Why go to Guadalajara? I got it nice here."
I think he's leaving. I think there was like rumors, and I was like, no, it's gonna be the same thing with Chicharito, where he'll come back, and there's only two ways it could go: horrible or amazing. And given our
He's
track record, it'll go horrible.
he's not signing there. He's not. Well, on that note, big thanks to Varo for joining the pod this week, and for all the Chiva hermanos and Chiva hermanas. They say misery loves company, so I recommend you join up at the Chivas del Norte Discord. I hear it's a nice time.
You got kicked out.
I
You
got
got banned.
banned. It was worth it.
Tell him why. Tell him why real quick.
I know. I've said it before last time you were here.
Oh, did you say it on the last one? Oh, all
Yeah.
right. I don't remember if you did or not. I didn't know if it was over at that point.
Basically, they're haters. That's all. That's all that matters. They didn't like my Cuauhtemoc Blanco gifts, and you know what? I don't blame them.
All right, man. Good talking to you. We'll do this again at the beginning of next season. Let's see where my hopes are at.
Well, we'll check in back in August. How about that?
Yep. That sounds like a plan.
All right. Thanks for listening, guys. Later.